All right. So I just wanted to jump on here real quick and just do some education or training or whatever you want to call it around emotional well-being. So emotional well-being is my niche as a life coach, and I just wanted to put out some information about what I do and how I do it. So what is emotional well-being? So my coaching practice entails an emotional well-being program. So emotional well-being. Emotional well-being is the ability to produce positive emotions, moods, thoughts, and feelings, and adapt when confronted with adversity and stressful situations. One of its foundations is resilience. Resilience, which allows you to navigate challenging life events. Think of resilience like a muscle. So resilience in a nutshell is the ability to overcome challenging or tough situations, thoughts, feelings in a healthy way. Emotional well-being refers to emotional quality and individual experiences. Emotional well-being is influenced by a variety of demographic, economic, and situational factors. For example, the onset of COVID-19 outbreak lowered emotional well-being by 74%. That is substantial. 74%. We're well over the 50 mark. And so with that being said, COVID has taught us that we need to really work on ourselves, not just the outside, but the inside, and work on ourselves in such a way that we reflect and see what we really need emotionally. Because a lot of times we think about what we know. We usually, what I call it is we use the upward of the shoulders assessment, what we think, and not what we feel. And that's downward of the shoulders, what we feel. And if you ask me, what we feel is way more important than what we think, because a lot of times our thoughts and our feelings are in conflict and we don't go with what we feel, we go with what we think. We'll rationalize certain things. I'm definitely guilty of it. I am hyper rational. And with that being said, sometimes bypassing what we feel, which is important, what we're feeling is telling us what's going on and why we feel this way. So for example, if we're going into a new situation and we don't have any idea of like how the situation, we've never been in this situation before. So we're going to a party for the first time and we don't know the people that are going to be there. We don't know if the people that invited us or the person that invited us or the people we're comfortable with are going to be there or go with us. So we might be very anxious and might feel like this might not pan out right. If we get that instinct, what we feel, that something's not going to be well, but we're like, well, I'm going to go anyways because I think I'm just overreacting. When you're getting that feeling of uneasiness, not per se nervousness, but like uneasiness, like something is not going to work out right, we need to honor that feeling. And so a lot of times we go with what we think because we're like, well, what I think is a lot more important than what I'm feeling, which might be your instinct of this might not be the place I need to go. Or I really need to just like call and say, hey, I will catch y'all later. So that's just one example. Another example is going to the dentist for the first time, needing to have dental work maybe, instead of being like, I'm going to call someone that can go with me to kind of give me that comfort, kind of help me be a little bit more easy in this appointment. Like, no, I'll be okay. I'm going to put on my big girl britches and try to suck it up versus being like, you know what, I'm going to honor and just say, hey, let me go get someone that could really be there for me emotionally because I do need that support right now versus being like, no, I think I'm just being a baby about it. So that's another example. So the importance of a healthy well-being, physical and mental. So As you all know, and if you don't know, I'm a social worker by profession. And so what we think and feel are important, just as well as our physical and mental state is important. So having a healthy well-being causes you to engage in self-care routine, my other niche. A self-care routine has been clinically proven to reduce or eliminate anxiety and depression, reduce stress, improve concentration, minimize frustration and anger, increase happiness, improve energy, and so much more. That whole statement in and of itself says it all. So self-care, just to caveat a little bit, is the other, it's kind of like my dovetail of emotional well-being, because they kind of go hand in hand. We have to take care of ourselves emotionally. And how we do that is when we care for ourselves, basically self-care. Caring for ourselves is the most important thing, because if we don't care for ourselves, how can we care for someone else? And I say that we hear so many statements. For example, we're on a plane and we're flying and they give us this feel of, if something were to happen in an emergency while you're on this plane, you grab your mask and put your mask on first, then you help other people put theirs on. Why they tell us that? We know why, but they have to tell us anyways, because sometimes we have to be reminded. We have to put on ours. We have to rescue ourselves first before we can help rescue someone else. If I'm helping you put on your mask and I'm struggling and I'm in a panic, I'm not getting air that I need to help you get the air you need. So what if I pass out trying to get you the air, you never get the air? We're both down. So we have to think of it, I got to take care of me, not trying to ignore other people or their needs, but making sure my need is met first, so that way I can help others meet their needs. Another statement of making sure your cup doesn't be depleted before you pour into someone else. So I can't have an empty cup and then try to pour into someone else. I don't have, if I want to pour into someone else, because I'm empty. So that's another caveat, making sure my cup is full to make sure other people's cups get full or fuller. So that's why self-care is important. Things like going to the gym, exercising. It doesn't even have to be like going to the gym. You can have a gym in your home. Nowadays we have everything basically at our fingertips. We can stream. So find something on YouTube that is free. And it doesn't have to be super long. 15 to 30 minutes is a great amount of time to kind of get your heart rate up, because that's what we're looking at, getting your heart rate up. So that way the blood is pumping and it helps with so many things. It's not just exercising for physical reasons, it's exercising for mental cognition. There's a thing called cognitive fog. If you're so bogged down with so many things, cognitively, you are not thinking as clearly as you could. And exercise helps with both things. And depression and anxiety is real. I see it every day, and I even experience it very often. And I have to say, you know what? I have to assess myself. I have to check myself. How am I feeling? Why am I feeling like this? Is there something that's kind of starting to trigger me? Have I not gotten enough sleep? Have I not drank enough water? Have I not eaten the right things? To assess if I'm really going through like a clinical depression, or if I am just weighed down by so much worry and stress, anxiety. So making sure that we honor ourselves and assessing ourselves for mental health decline. By improving your physical health, you will be better able to maintain your mental health, and therefore may be more effective in supporting someone you care about. Its benefits are better physical, mental, and emotional health well-being. Research suggests self-care promotes positive health outcomes, such as fostering resilience, living longer, and becoming better equipped to manage stress. So of course, we know if we are feeling better, we are more mentally capable of taking on more or overcoming more, or thinking of ways to overcome more. Even if we cannot overcome those challenging things, we're able to think, okay, if I can't tackle this on my own, who can I help? Who can help me? Do I need to call a parent? Do I need to call an adult child? Do I need to call actually an expert? Who do I need to help me get through this tough spot or this trepidatious situation. A healthy well-being is establishing simple habitual actions that create balance and health in your life. And that says a lot too. When we are looking to have a state of, the word I'm looking for, balance per se in our life, we have to look at looking and being in the gray area, looking for the middle. We're not trying to be too extreme on the left. We're not trying to be too extreme on the right. We're trying to really be somewhere in the middle of honoring something that we can maintain. We don't want to get to where we're trying to achieve something and it's not attainable. So creating balance and health in your life. And health, that looks, I mean, that's a very broad statement, health. I mean, it depends on what you're really trying to do. But overall, making sure your emotional well-being is cared for. Good mental health is characterized by a person's ability to fulfill a number of key functions and activities, including the ability to learn, the ability to feel, express, and manage a range of positive and negative emotions, the ability to form and maintain good relationships with others. So having a good well-being helps you in so many areas. It's not just about you, it's also about the interactions that you have with other people. Like it does say habitual habits, and you want little nuggets to go a long way. It's almost like, for example, when I advocate for patients. When I advocate for patients, I'm not going to go get the blowhorn and scream to the rooftop or the top of my lungs so people can hear me roar. It's me making sure that my voice is heard at the table. When I speak, it is heard, not for just me, but for the person I am trying to advocate for. Hey, this is what I know. This would be helpful for so-and-so, and here's why. So the same thing, establishing small habits. It's like making a consistent effort over time, which gets you the ultimate goal. So habits are so healthy. A lot of times we look at them in a negative way. We need to look at, okay, we're little by little, me advocating, consistently showing up time and time and time again about a specific thing. Habits, showing up time and time and time again for yourself or that habit that you are trying to create. And then that will go a long way with making sure that you know you're doing what you need to do for yourself emotionally, and then therefore showing up for the people that you care for or care about, your friendships or your relationship or your colleagues or the people that you work for and or with, showing up in a way that you're not too aggressive, but not too passive. You're right there in the middle, you're assertive. So a lot of times people will take that, especially when you're first starting to do this, as you're being too rigid, you're being too direct. I'm not used to that from you. But it's not a way to say, I'm just coming in here for you to listen, but hey, I want to be heard or I need to be heard because X, Y, and or Z. And the range of positive and negative emotions, you'll learn how to balance those in such a way where you're not getting so upset and you're becoming aggressive or you're becoming too passive. And when you're in an excited mood, a positive mood, you know how to express that without being impulsive or going too over the top. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit. I do have coaching services that I offer that go more into detail of ways I can help you manage and find the middle. Why are these things really plaguing you, and get into the root cause, not in a therapeutic sense, but in a coaching sense, but getting to the root cause of what's causing some of these things. Because a lot of times, just a little tip, a lot of times we hold things in, and those things, when they do come out, they spill. It's like a soda. You kind of shake it up. Even if you shake it up a little bit and then you go to open it, it's going to explode because it already had too much pressure on top of the pressure that was already put into it. So it had pressure going in and it was fine. And you can open it. But then it was shaking up just a little bit And that's all it needed, was that little shake to explode. So if you are interested in looking into increasing your well-being, then you hit me up at www.chattingwithcrystal.com, and that's www.chattingwithcrystal.com. So if you're looking to increase your well-being in some kind of way, you just go to my website, book a session, and we can get to rock. I see you there.